going to give them a chance to share this one. So Mike, the mic is yours. Feel free.
Thank you,
It's all in the way.
And you know, let's celebrate an apostle here for his vision. I mean, we are a new company. Our mission is to solve loneliness and polarization in the world, and we are based in Tampa. We're starting here, and Apostle has been enthusiastic about being one of the first communities to try this new application. And so we have seen incredible life change happen in other communities, which is just so encouraging. People come to me in my church every day now, people I don't know, thanking me for making this app and for the life change that it's enabled, which is really, really gratifying. And actually, Leanie was one of those people, and so I'll let her just share her story about how she got involved in Krew.
Good morning. So my name is Aline. I'm originally from Brazil, but I've been in Florida for like 10 years. And one thing I always struggled was like how to make friends and connect with people. So I found a great church that I've been going for 2.5 years now. And I love the church, and I was serving, and I was in small groups, but I couldn't find like community outside of the church. Like if I wanted to go eat, at the end of the day, I didn't have anybody because like my family is all back in Brazil. So it was very hard. Like for years, I was like, oh Lord, I really wish I had friends to do life with. And then one day we have a Facebook group, an official Facebook group of the church, and then I saw like pictures of a hangout that they were doing with people from the church, and I was like, oh, how do I do that? And then I heard about the Krew social app that it was just starting, that it was last year, that it was like created by one of our members of the church. So I went there, and then he said how he started the app and everything. I was like, oh, I want to help, because that's literally what was my biggest pain, how to make friends, how to have community. So ever since, I've been just like going to all the church hangouts and then creating my own hangout, which was one of them was literally like lunch after church, because I always thought it would be fun to hang out with people like eating after church. So it's been just great to do anything you can think of. Like, oh, I want to go to the movies with the church family. I want to go bowling. Like, we did a Labor Day get together. So now it's just been this life change of people that had the same kind of problem. Like, oh, I have nothing else to do. I would be home by myself, or I would be making bad choices. And then they got on Krew Social, and anytime they can just find something to do, or they can create their own something to do. So if you're into crafts, you can create your own craft event, hangout. And it doesn't have to be anything big. Sometimes the church has bigger events, like now the church has the picnic, but it can literally be anything. Find people to go have ice cream with. So it's been just a life-changing tool for me. That's why I started working for them. Like I volunteer. I was like, I volunteer, I want to help. So more people can have access to it. So I really hope that it can help you guys connect even more and just grow as a church. And then, just find purpose and community.
It's an incredible blessing to have people like Aline on the team, and I prayed. This was recently. I prayed a few weeks ago for us to have the kind of help that we need in the company. And I literally, this was a 30+ small group that I lead, and literally someone in a group of 10 people, someone in that group got up, walked over me, and said, "I'm a mobile developer, and before you asked for prayer, I was actually already planning to offer to help you for free." And it was his first day in the group. I didn't He came up to me and just offered to help for free. So now we're incorporating him into the team. Later that night, 2 other guys from other groups who I didn't know came up to me and said, "Thank you so much for making this app. This app has changed my life, and I want to help you for free, and I'm interested in investing." And I'm like, this is just crazy, right? I mean, it's totally different from these people. And so it's all about helps bolster their faith too. Right? We meet with all kinds of people. We met with Tampa General Hospital this week actually about them using Krew for their 12,000 employees, and the head of HR there, who actually happens to go to my church, I didn't know her, and she said that the president of TGH's top priority, one of his top priorities this year is to reduce loneliness among staff and increase belonging. Well, that's a great coincidence that that's your top priority. Right? This is a great meeting for us for all of us to be having. So it's just been, it's really been just an incredible blessing. And how many people have had challenges finding people to do activities with? Something you wanted to do, like you wanted to go bowling, you wanted to watch a movie, but let's say you were either new to town or you're not new to town, but you still couldn't find people to do the thing at the time you wanted to do the thing and whatnot, or you weren't finding people. So some people, and possibly the slides that change. Yeah, I'll show you kind of like a visual story of how the company started, because that was basically the starting point of this. Yeah, no problem. Okay, yeah, I'll tell the story, then we have some visual slides for how that works and stuff. We'll show this at the end. But in terms of the story of the company, that was 10 years ago actually when I left the Navy. And any other veterans in the house here? Mm-hmm. Okay. One. Okay. So what's funny is that the blue and yellow teams, that's actually how we would do things in the Navy. We have blue and gold, and those were our colors for like physical training and stuff like that. So I thought that was really interesting. That's going to be at your picnic picture. But when I left the Navy 10 years ago, I moved to New York City for business school, and I was trying to find people to do community with. And really, you had apps like Meetup, you had apps like Eventbrite, and those are large events. You don't know who to talk to at the event. It's once a month. Someone else decides, when the event is going to be, what it's going to be. It would take a year to build community, build friends like that. And then you had other apps that were face swiping for friendship, like Bumble BFF. Has anybody tried like Meetup here? Yeah. Anybody tried Bumble BFF? No. Okay. Yeah. So it doesn't make any sense, and it's not going well for them because it doesn't make any sense. And so arguably it's unhealthy for dating to be face swiping and stuff, but it's nonsensical for friendship. And so I came up with this idea then for something that builds community naturally, which is small groups with a lot in common, doing what they love together. Didn't pursue it until a few years ago with the pandemic, and you had all this loneliness and isolation here, and I felt a strong call from God at that point to then launch this company. And in that 6 years, from the time I had the idea to the time I launched it, the technology hadn't improved at all, right? We had all this amazing things happening in technology and all these other areas, electric vehicles and all this stuff. Nothing for building community, building friendship, for building this absolutely essential need. And I really love Ecclesiastes 4 talking about like the mission of the company, which speaking of technology, pulled it up there at this screen. So a person standing alone can be attacked and defeated, but two can stand back to back and conquer. Three are even better, for a triple braided cord is not easily broken. Amen. I think this is a wonderful verse to describe what we're doing, because I think for one, I think there is a very good chance you're going to find your spouse on this app. I mean, I think I have. I met my significant other at a Krew social hangout. That was a type of hangout that can't be done on any other app, which was a casual after church lunch hangout. And it's just something that's actually Eleni created it. This was funny, and 15 people showed up, and one of them was Denise, who's now my girlfriend, and we got to know each other in community. So we did just group activities on Krew for a month before we, exchanged numbers or anything like that. And then about a month after that, then we exchanged numbers, and then we started dating. And so we got to know each other in community, and we're still in community. And now we're leading like an outreach project together once a month with our church and everything. And we still go to a lot of hangouts and all this. And so you not only will you find your spouse, you will find community here. And you need to be careful with the PDFs, right? That's a new thing now. People think they can just swipe for love and everything. But first of all, they're very tedious. They don't work that well. And partially because they're not designed to work well, they're designed to keep you single, because that's how they make money. And their business becomes over once you get married. And we're not like that. So we benefit from community, from growth and health. But secondly, studies show that there's a 6 times higher divorce rate for people who meet on a date. And it's from the Marriage Foundation, and specifically because they like the community, they like the community support, right? They're just two. And again, going back to that verse, it says 2 is good. 2 is good, but 3 is even better, right? So how do you get to 3? And that's building this. That's building this. Okay. How many singles are in the room?
A few.
Some?
Yeah.
And how many couples are there? Good distribution of those. I think both groups are going to benefit from this a lot, and I think there's going to be a lot of intermingling of both groups, and that's something that's so wonderful about this, is that because it's an informal community layer that really sits on top of, let's say, a church center. And so we don't compete with Church Center. We actually are looking forward to partner with them one day, and one day we'll actually be able to integrate with them so that everything on Church Center appears automatically on Krew. And so this is a way to basically live life together. You can have, like Lena said, you can put, there are already a lot of, we're going to bring the app up and you're going to see the screens, and you're going to be able to download it and join the Ross community. But you're going to be able to not just participate in what the church is doing, and Apostle has already put a bunch of hangouts in there, great things, including the picnic, but you're going to be able to actually participate in this. And we encourage you to participate in this by creating your own hangouts. And just please keep it church safe, church appropriate, and it's a sober, the coordination community, like most of our church communities, is a sober community, and so that's the intent there. But other than that, create your own hangouts, create your own things. You want to find people to go to a movie with, you want people to go bowling with. If you're looking to find 5 people to do an activity with, whether it be bowling or whether it be a movie, no other app in the world is going to help you do that. Right? And that's something that I felt was so stunning, such an incredible, something that was missing when this first came up to me 10 years ago. Now we're making this happen. And once people start to get used to it, the community has this incredible flywheel effect where it just keeps growing. Now in our church community, there's literally something to do every day. And neither Alini nor I nor any of our other team members have anything to do with at least 90% of those things, right? I mean, there were 15 people went to a race game yesterday, organized on Krew. And the app is going to, we can actually pull up the screens now so you can see stuff in history. You can actually see this as well. You understand what I'm talking about. But, yeah. So the app is going to, I always say step 1 is not join a hangout, it's create a hangout. And that's because I want people to participate, right? People still sometimes ask me permission to create a hangout. Like, the whole point is this is for you, right? So create a hangout. And then step 2 is join a hangout. And then you'll see there, so that's an actual hangout. I have nothing to do with it. Someone created that. Oh, no, keep it on that previous kit. So that second phone there, join a hangout. It shows you, that's a casual hangout, supper club, like the one that my girlfriend and I have. It shows you who you have the most in common with. Your suggested crew. There are no other app in the world that's going to show you who to talk to in the room. That's very, very clear. That's very, very helpful. And that's based on the profile that you fill out, that you have complete control over. Nothing creepy about it. We're not doing this based on your web browser history. This is just based on the profile that you fill out. And it has both personal and professional stuff. You can do either or. And we have very strong privacy protections. We don't sell information. We don't make money on that or anything. And so then the third screen shows you the automatic chat creation. And so this makes it a lot easier to coordinate your plans because you don't have to create. Has anybody dealt with frustration having to create a chat group for every kind of activity that you're trying to plan and coordinate? That like a common, yeah, I mean, it's incredibly frustrating for me and for everyone else. And then what about, has anybody, on the flip side, has anybody here dealt with the frustration of these big chat groups, like on WhatsApp, for example, or WhatsApp or GroupMe, where there's just a continuous never-ending stream of messages, right? I have dealt with that. I have muted WhatsApp groups with 600 unread messages. Just one group in WhatsApp, right? It's, who has time for this, right? Well, this actually solves both of those problems, because this creates an automatic chat for all your hangouts. You don't have to do it manually. It also has directions for how to get there, so you don't have to tell people the directions, about the location, everything on there. And then it also creates a separate chat for each hangout. Right, so you're not talking about a WhatsApp group with like 50 people or 100 people where it's a never-ending stream. The chat is only intended for that specific hangout, right? Once it passes, that's it, and then you go on to the next one. So it keeps it very clean, and you only get the notifications for the things, for the chats, for the hangouts that you join. So you're not getting, the notifications for everything else that's going on. It's just the things that you opt in for. And speaking of opt-in, that's an important safety feature that we have, is that people don't get the location until they're either invited or accepted. So you can invite your whole community if you want. You can invite all coordination, stuff like that, and anybody can accept and get the location and whatnot, and that helps get signups. But if you want to keep it more controlled, more private, for example, you can just invite your group, your friends on the app, and then they'll be able to join automatically, but no one else will be able to see that location or where that thing is, until they basically ask you to join and you accept it. Yeah, so you get to control this as the organizer. Then you get to control, and then the end result is your group. This is your coordination group, right? And so these are going to be your people, your 10, 20 people in your coordination that you're friends with. And we also have a public community now, and we are in the midst of launching that, but you are going to be able to, there may be some hangouts that you want to invite the general public to, maybe an outreach project. And so this has been, our signups for outreach projects have been huge on this, 4 times the level of signups for Facebook groups or church center alone. Literally, we're getting massive signups. We used to get 10, now we get 40 for a homeless outreach project. I lead one of those projects, so that's one every month. And just the signups have been incredible. So there may be things, as we advertise the public community more, there may be things that you all want to list in the public community, right? Like outreach projects, and draw those people in. And we're going to work on getting some more of those things. It's all healthy, the intent is all, healthy community. It's like workouts, faith and fitness workouts, Christian networking groups and stuff like that. We're going to work on getting more of that in the Riverview area too. Most of the hangouts in the public are currently downtown Tampa. So that's on our list of things to do. And okay, so next slide. Yeah, and so this is really where it all comes together. And we have them. We had Apostle and Saeed is going to be leading this effort, but we asked them to put photos from your all's community. But what we realized is this is the power, right? Like seeing the photos of people's lives being changed, and then seeing the list of upcoming things is what gets people to download this app, right? Nobody wants to download another app. Eleni didn't want to download the app, right? But then what happens is they download it because of these things. They want to do the hangouts, and then their lives change, and then they realize how amazing it is. So that's what gets them to try it. And I'm telling you, we have a stack of photos like this every week, just from the casual things in the Krew social community. Just from one of our communities, we have a stack of photos like this. We have hundreds of these photos, and they, of people's lives being changed thanks to Krew. And like I said, most of these things these casual kind of things, going bowling with 10 people on Friday night. There is no other app for doing that. You're not going to create an event right away. It takes 30 minutes to create an event right. There's 5 questions to create a Krew hangout. It's a totally different world. So, and yeah, so you have a QR code on the right to download the app, and it's going to take you to a quick start guide, which shows you basically the overview. There's a video of how to create a hangout, things like that. It's very intuitive. I don't think you'll have any problems with it, but it's always there. The quick start guide is always there if you need to go back to it. And it's gonna ask you to fill out a profile. The profile is essentially all optional, other than your date of birth and the date of birth we need to verify you're over 18, essentially, to use the app. And the rest is all voluntary. But if you enter in at least 10 things in the profile, you're going to start to benefit from that suggested friends algorithm. And so then that's what it needs basically to find people in common, with things in common, and suggest to you. So it's a very powerful addition. So I do encourage you, if you don't fill out your profile, you can skip the profile for now, but you should go back to it and fill that later at least. And then it's going to take you to the map screen that was, I showed you on the previous slide. And at the top of that screen, you can click that logo and join a new community, and then you can enter your code here, the core. Then you're going to have access to this private, protected community that's just for your church, that no one else can see, unless they have the code, which is up to you how much, how broadly you want to promote that. You can see the upcoming things these are already in the app, so Apostle and Psyche have already entered these things in. And not to confuse you too much with the second QR code, but this is a new thing that we're starting is we realize that the app is a lot more successful with ambassadors, just volunteer ambassadors in each community. Just like the church is more successful with volunteers, right? The church is fueled by volunteers. Krew is also fueled by volunteers. And so if anybody here has a real burning desire to be like a leader of this community, create hangouts, things like that, they can fill out the QR code on the left is for becoming an ambassador at Krew. And so as an ambassador, you're going to get free swag, like a t-shirt or hat, and you're going to be invited to our Discord group for ambassadors, and where we discuss best ideas and things like that for creating hangouts. You're going to get invited to monthly ambassador calls with Krew staff, where we talk about the upcoming on the app, the new features we're introducing, things like that, new communities we're launching, kind of inside scoops and whatnot. And the only obligation we have as an ambassador is to just create one hangout a month, and invite your community to it, either invite by word of mouth or invite in person.
Yeah, so if you're one of these people that naturally love community, is always like, oh, let's get the girls out to do this, let's get the boys fishing, anything like you like being around people, I strongly encourage you to scan the Become an Ambassador QR code, because that's gonna benefit so many people. Like, a lot of people see their life change from having something to do, a hangout, and then it's like you see people telling you, oh, thank you so much. I'm like, why are you thanking me? Just because, loneliness, it's like, even the Surgeon General was talking about it, it's equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It's like, it damages your mind, and it leads to depression, which I'm very familiar with too. That's why I love Krew so much. So if you already have that heart for community, I encourage you to become an ambassador, because it's going to help the church, it's going to help the people. So it's just like a great thing that you can do.
Exactly, and Phil, in terms of sharing the app, so we have these bracelets out on the outside there, and it has a QR code to share the app with others without exchanging phone numbers or anything. So again, additional safety feature. Actually forgot to mention another safety feature in that chat, but actually church groups are starting to prefer using Krew chat for their groups as opposed to using WhatsApp, which is kind of, I would say nowadays the default, because Krew doesn't exchange phone numbers. It doesn't share phone numbers. And we have sometimes co-ed groups that becomes problematic, like with WhatsApp, for example, when guys have girls' numbers, stuff like that. And Krew doesn't do that. So there is a safe chat. It's also a rich chat, like WhatsApp, where you can do reactions and stuff like that, unlike creating an SMS group, where you have half the people on Android and half the people on iPhone. Raise your hand if that's ever been a frustration for anyone here. Right? So, so we bypass all that, and so you can use your bracelets to share it. It's on the Church Center. It is on Core's Church Center homepage. So when you see it on the Church Center app that you just downloaded, there is a link now for Krew there, so you can find it there. You can also take a picture of this, and you can
show people the picture to get your other friends here to download the app. We see incredible growth, and it's just from word of mouth. Our personal church our Krew community is at 700 right now, growing at 5 to 10% per month, just by word of mouth. And we never did a launch. I think at some point we will in the future, but we still haven't benefited from a launch event like this. But we're still getting just incredible growth and life change, and people coming up to me everywhere I go, thank you. For people I don't know, thank you for making it. So I think you are going to see a lot of those wonderful stories come out here too.
Thank you so much, guys. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I know, like Pastor say that she's very into it, and she will reach out to me anytime. Please do with any questions. I'm happy to help. And yeah.
Yeah, we'll be at the table on the side too.
Yes.
You can feel free to come chat with us.
Thank you.
All right. Listen, as